Hello, welcome to our weekly highlight video for this week. I want to start off with a big thank you to all who participated in our badminton tournament on Saturday this past weekend. We had over 60 participants come out on Saturday to play badminton. Thank you to all the parents and students and staff and teachers who participated in that event. It was a great way to showcase the strength of our community. As a school that's accredited with the Association of Christian Schools International, we have access to incredible tools and surveys that help our school get better. And parents, I want to give you a heads up that very soon you will be receiving an email about one of those survey tools that we're using to help improve SPH KV Village. And actually, all of the SPH schools are doing this survey. It's called the Flourishing Faith Instrument. And this survey is being given out to teachers and parents and staff, students and alumni of SPH schools, asking questions about how we as a school support students in their growth and development as followers of Christ. And so parents, when you get that email, I would ask that you take a few minutes to read through the instructions and respond authentically to the questions that are asked there. Your answers as parents and your encouragement of students in your home to give good answers will help us inform our program as we seek to develop it to allow students to flourish as followers of Christ. This week's highlight video is given over once again to our new senior school principal, Mr. Jason Porch. I had an opportunity to sit down with Jason and to ask him some questions to get to know him a little better and to hear from him in some key areas about his leadership at our school. So I hope you enjoy the interview with Mr. Jason Porch. So parents, thanks for joining us on this video. As I mentioned before, we're going to take some time today to meet our brand new senior school principal, Jason Porch. And Jason, we are so excited that you've agreed to join us here at SPH KV Village and bringing your wife Elizabeth and 4 kids to Jakarta in July. And Jason, maybe you take a minute to introduce us to your family quickly, their names and ages, and anything else you want to share about Elizabeth and the kids.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me. And gosh, we're so excited to get over there to Indonesia. So my wife is Elizabeth. She's 6 foot and she's a classical violinist. She's amazing. She's my best friend. And together we have 4 children, Sophia, Israel, Zoe, and Genesis. Sophia is 8. Israel is 6. Let's see, Zoe is 3 and Genesis is 1.
It's beautiful. And Jason, I love those names. I'm sure we can get long into the detailed history, but you know, Sophia is wisdom and Israel is God's chosen people. And Zoe means life and Genesis means beginning. That to me speaks, Jason, to your own heart for intentionality and care over something as important as your kids' names, but also connecting that to who God is and how He's revealed Himself to us.
You know, what's been neat about those names is that their personalities have unbelievably matched up to those names so far. And all I can say is I feel as if God gave us those names for them. And it's just been amazing to see these gifts and the beauty just kind of growing and maturing over the years. So
beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Jason. And again, you've decided to pick up your family and move from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Indonesia. And Jason, I know for you, this is kind of a homecoming because you spent the early years of your life in Kalimantan. But tell us a little bit about what's the draw to move your family to Indonesia?
It is a homecoming for me. I get to go home. I was born in Indonesia and I grew up till about 16, and then my father passed away of cancer and really just haven't been back since then. I came back one time for something else and just a short visit, but I talk about Indonesia all the time. I talk about all the pets I had. I talk Indonesian and in a dialect, Daan, with my kids, and so they get Indonesia all the time, and it's kind of a wonderland for them. And so I'm really excited for them to see Indonesia, and then we're just super honored to just with this chance to enter into a great community. And my wife hasn't even been to Indonesia. She's just excited to see kind of what that first half of my life and us just visit and grow together in our marriage. So
You mentioned pets that you had in Kalimantan. I'm sure pets in Jakarta would be a little different than the pets you had in Kalimantan.
Probably.
But we have lots of monitor lizards, and
You never know.
Jason, you mentioned community, and you've had a chance to get to know a little bit of our community. You met with teachers, and you met with leaders, you met with a few students and parents.
Yeah.
As you've gotten to know just small aspects of our community, what are you most looking forward to as a leader joining this community?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, two words come to mind: serving and joy. I love serving. I love entering schools, doing whatever I can to help education move forward, right? I'm so excited to enter a Christian community that shares that joy. So far, I've been working in public charter schools, and of course I'm joyful, right? But it's just going to be different to enter into a community of fellow believers and to live out that joy. So
That's great, Jason. I want to pick up on that idea of joy, because joy is one of the things that we want to be present in our school culture. And we want that strong culture that is rooted in joy, that is bigger than ourselves, right? Bigger than our individual lives or individual challenges or joys and circumstances. I'd love to hear from you how you would go about seeking to build and develop a culture that celebrates that joy while also maintaining rigor. It's important that we want our students to be using the gifts that God has given them to the utmost. So, Jason, how would you seek to balance those things in our school?
it's this approach of truth and relationship. So whenever I think of academics, I think of seeking after truth, right? But truth encapsulates a lot of what we're after. Learning that truth, whether it be the truth of Christ or just truth in mathematics or whatever it is. But you never want to divorce that or keep that away from relationship. This would be how I would be approaching entering into SPH and Kamang Village with this two-prong approach, this dynamic, if you will, DNA of truth and relationship working together. So I'm really excited to dig in and get to know the community, spending time with the students, getting to know them, and then also getting to know the staff and just doing what I can, again, to support the entire community toward that truth and relationship cultivation.
Jason, you've actually picked up on two of our expected student outcomes, right? We expect our students to become truth seekers, and our culture and our program should drive them toward that end. We believe that if the students seek the truth, meaning, Christ, that he will reveal himself to them, and that's true in math and science and English and history classes, etc. And we also want our students to be flourishing learners, which means doing that in community and in relationship. You can't do it on your own. You will never flourish by yourself. And so I love that what at times might seem like a dichotomy, right? Yes, times might seem to be on polar ends of the spectrum where we could either be truth seekers or we can seek to flourish. But bringing those things together is really beautiful. Jason talked a little bit about your desire for students to grow in their relationship with Christ and grow in their understanding of the world and so on. How would you kind of encapsulate or share your deepest hope for students? If you could only accomplish one thing for students, what would that be for them?
Just helping them mature and be ready for the next stage in life. We're only with these students till 12th grade, right? And whenever they're ready to enter on into life, into whatever it is that they're going to do, whatever God has for them next, it is that time. It's time for them to embrace, grow up, recognize the responsibility of life ahead of them. And that's what we want to be, that support structure.
Great, Jason. A variation on that same question, because sometimes, as you know, as an educational leader, teachers can get a little myopic and not see beyond the walls of their own classroom, right? Whether that's a math class or a science class or whatever. How would you seek to lead your team of teachers in having that same mindset, that our goal is a collective responsibility to make sure our students are prepared academically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically for whatever God has for them next? How would you build that cohesiveness on your team?
When the teachers know that they are supported and that they can lean into recognizing that these students are not merely there studying whatever subject it is in front of them, but that they're image bearers, that they are that they're responsible for soul craft, and that these souls are maturing souls that will go on beyond their classrooms, helping the teachers recognize that this work, it's not merely, if you will, the building of a cathedral. They're not merely chiseling out blocks, but they're crafting a huge structure that has really potentially much more worth than what they have right in front of them. And so just helping them see that vision, casting that vision, and supporting them in that process.
Yeah, Jason, I really appreciate that idea of capturing the big picture, right? And recognizing that you are participating in a small piece of a much bigger work that's happening in the life of that student. Jason, I've had the pleasure of leading the Kamung Village community for the past 6 years, and one of the things that has become a hallmark of our community is our orientation toward change and our agility. We recognize our need for ongoing school improvement and ongoing change in response to the world that is around us. We're in a very dynamic place here in South Jakarta. And so you're joining a community that is change-oriented, and we value that responsiveness and agility. Let's talk a little bit about how you would envision your first kind of 90 days, your first semester at KV. What would that look like in regard to change and progress in our senior school?
It's just very excited to walk into the school and get the feel for the school, right? To begin to see and understand the culture that's been established by the current staff and where the students are at, and just see what all is going on. So along with your guidance and what I'm pretty sure you already know some of the changes and development that needs to happen, right? Just from your experience and where the school is at in general, right? So I'm really excited to hear your heart and begin to seek to support that and just put legs and hands and feet to that vision. But also, I'm excited to walk in and see where it's at, working with you in the 30, 60, 90 days, and really even beyond that, cultivating a basic vision, seeing what is, how urgent are things that need to happen initially, and how can we begin to cultivate the vision and change, crafting a plan, communicating that clearly, getting the team on board, answering questions, working out kinks, and just taking steps forward. This is what I really like doing. I love walking in someplace, seeing what needs to happen, and just let's move forward. Let's make some action happen, and so that we can look back at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, and see, wow, look at what all God has done, and look at where we were, and look at where He's brought us to. It charges me. I'm excited, and I'm so excited. I'm perhaps a broken record here. I really like serving. I like meeting the needs of an organization, of a team of administrators, of teachers, because if there's change that needs to happen, well, there's normally reasons for that. And so I'm excited to begin to understand what the reasons are and do change in a loving and charitable way.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Jason, this wasn't on our original list of questions that we talked about, but I'd love to hear your heart for partnership with parents. That's something we value very much at our school, that we believe biblically that parents are the first educators, the primary educators for their kids, and they're choosing us to be their partner in that endeavor. And so I'd love to hear from you your heart for connection and relationship with parents, and what does partnership look like with parents, specifically in the grade 6 to 12 level?
Sure. Yeah. Well, these are my favorite grades, so that's the first easy answer. The next one is, I really like to get parents to be a part of some of the academics or some of the things that we're doing in the school with their children, right? So what that means is sometimes I like to get parents, just offer it, right? Offer for parents to read little articles on education, or hear a teacher talk about their favorite subject, but legitimately setting up events for parents to come in and for all of us to learn and grow together. So one of my favorite things to do is actually to hold parent discussion nights. And what that means is inviting in 30 or 40 parents to all meet each other. Many times, sometimes that's happening, sometimes it's not, but for us to all meet each other, other parents meeting themselves as well, and getting to know each other, right? Asking questions of each other, but having intentional conversations toward what it is that maybe they have questions on, or what it is that their students are aiming at. Just support, just providing and building more, if you will, academic and intellectual community, besides, of course, all the other fun community that's already happening. My hunch is, and what I see on social media and in videos, and of course in the announcements and everything, like there's good things already happening. But yes, I love coming in and creating more of a, if you will, an adult learning culture for all of us, and incorporating teachers in that, right? Not just me, not just administrators, but getting all of us, okay. And we just learn more about students, where students are coming from, parents recognize where we're coming from, not just hearing through students. So just building any way that we can build those more direct relationships, I'm all for.
Right, Jason, I love it. Jason, I want to thank you for taking some time to meet with me and to have this conversation. I've had the privilege of meeting with you many times over Zoom, and I too am looking forward to seeing you in person and showing you around the school and introducing you to key members of our team and parents and students, etc. Jason, we know you have a lot to do in the next 2 months before you move to Indonesia. And so I want you to know that we as a community, parents and students and teachers, are praying for you and for Elizabeth and for your kids as you transition out of Oklahoma and into Indonesia. And we're so excited that God has called you to be part of our community and are confident that He will walk with you every step of that transition. He will empower you and equip you in every way to do the works that He has prepared in advance for you to do from the creation world. And so, Jason, know that we're praying for you. Know that you are already a part of our community. We're excited to meet you face to face. And again, thanks so much for taking some time and answering these questions. I know our parents will appreciate getting to know you a little better through them.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mark, and I'm really excited to meet all of you parents, anyone who's going to be watching this. Thank you. Thanks for praying for us, and we're so excited to meet you all in a couple of months.
Thanks for tuning in to that interview with Mr. Jason Porch, our new senior school principal. I hope you have a better sense of who he is and what his heart is for education, and him as a father and a husband. And we look forward to welcoming Jason and Elizabeth and their family to our community in July. Parents, you can look ahead in the next couple of weeks to more interviews with some of our current principals who are coming back for the next school year, and what their plans are to continuously improve the program at SPH KV Village for you and for your children. That's all for this week's highlight video. I hope you have a great week ahead.